speak, and we'll let us proceed.
Is it more? Oh, thank you.
That was a little longer than expected. I think we've got kind of things like that. So if we could have closing comments from the applicant, great.
Thank you very much, Commissioners. Again, Krista Mann from Energy Wind. I just wanted to thank all the folks who came up to present comments, regardless of their opinion on the project. And again, to thank the Commission and the staff for hearing all the testimony and presentations and whatnot today. And also to provide one quick response to one of the questions that was asked regarding the setback distance between wind turbines and the pipeline that exists in the project area now. If my math isn't wrong, I think that's about 935 feet. So hopefully that's a more than safe distance away from those two facilities. And we're in touch with that company. And so with that, I thank you again. I respectfully request your approval on the hopes that we've satisfied all of the county's requirements. And we're of course available to answer further questions should there be any. Thank you very much.
Hi, Susan Innes, Manager of Setting and Land Rates for Xcel Energy. On behalf of Xcel, we want to thank you very much for your time this morning. We appreciate the support of the community members. And on behalf of the project team and the landowners, are looking forward to being a part of your community. Respectfully request your approval of the project as we meet all of the land use criteria. Thank you very much for your time this morning.
Good afternoon, Commissioners. Kyle Founder, Director of CBS. What we'd like to do is actually go through the resolution language. The resolution is always in your packets and it follows the staff report. We had some conditions of approval and obviously today we've discussed a couple more and some tweaks to them. So we'd like you to actually see the language that we came up with on the break. You can approve that language as such and then we can print that language out when we get back to the county building. So let's go through that together. You can just really scroll on down. We're starting with the wind farm, and I'm going to grab my glasses because I'm blind. So the language here that we've changed, there was a typographical error in number 13, and this is the resolution to approve the special use and the 1041 for the Invenergy project. It was a typographical error in 13, so we clarified that language. And it just simply says the county shall require documentation to be submitted to Elbert County Community Development Services. And further down, we omitted or forgot the word preliminary, bird and bat conservation strategy. That's what was discussed in the condition of approval. So we added that word. 19 was probably known to you, but it wasn't actually known to you in your packets when your packets were delivered. This was in conjunction with the county attorney. And this is as agreed by the parties, the applicant shall execute a financial assurance agreement with Elbert County prior to the commencement of construction. And then what you discussed today, number 20, permit holder shall provide documentation to Elbert County containing more detail regarding estimated property tax revenues on a projected quarterly schedule based on existing state of Colorado tax regulations and facilitate follow-up meetings with Elbert County staff and state of Colorado Division of Property Taxation staff to the satisfaction of the Board of County Commissioners. Okay? So that covers the resolution again for the Invenergy application for what we're calling the wind farm area. So here's the language changes to the resolution that pertains to the special use in the 1041 associated with the transmission line. Again,
let me ask you a question. Why did you put it to the satisfaction Board of County Commissioners rather than to the staff?
We can change that.
Well, I'm sure there was some logic.
Because what you all discussed at the time was to your satisfaction. we can change it to staff, to county staff, and it could be left with the county manager, the county. You okay with the way it is, or would you like it to be staff?
I think we're fine. I'm just curious.
Okay, well, it was your request, so it was your satisfaction. So going back, this was the change, and I appreciate that Aaron, who is a representative for Excel, did some really good due diligence here and identified the fact that CSU didn't have the staff to do this. We've changed the language in here to reflect that it's going to be the Colorado State Forest Service.
You're aware there's 4 trees.
We don't care. The further east you go in our county, the more we love our trees. Okay, so we've changed that language. 17, again, was made known to you, but wasn't in the original resolution that was distributed to you. And this, again, is as agreed to by the parties, the applicant shall execute a development agreement with Elbert County prior to the commencement of construction. And this was negotiated between Carolyn White, the attorney for the representative, and the county attorney. And the last one was what we discussed today. And again, it's a repetition of the exact same language that we had at the end of the other resolution. So that covers our changes.
Can you comment on that language of the proposed 18%?
Sure. Commissioners and staff, my name is Carolyn White. I'm Land Use Counsel for Excel Energy on this matter. And our minor comment about the language in both of those new additional conditions about providing additional documentation regarding the estimated taxes to be paid. What we had proposed to staff was that we would be glad to facilitate a meeting and try to clarify the estimate of what taxes would be paid and when. But there is not in existence a independent documentation that has a quarterly payment schedule. There is no such thing. So I know that in the drafting, the language got tweaked a little bit, and I just want to articulate that concern for you because this might be asking for documentation which we can't provide because it doesn't exist. So we want to facilitate the meeting. We want to answer all the questions you have. We will work with your staff and with the state to estimate what the taxes are going to look like and when they will be paid, but there is no independent documentation of a quarterly tax payment schedule that we could provide to you.
Yeah,
I'm going to follow up to this if I may. And she's absolutely right. I'm not saying that there is something out there. What I am actually reflecting on is the transcript from the Planning Commission meeting where Planning Commissioners specifically asked for projections based on a quarterly basis for at least the first annual and then subsequent years. And the applicant at that time said that that would be something they could produce. Not saying that it exists, but that it can be produced given the collection of information and the collaboration with these people. So that's really actually going back to the transcript from the Planning Commission meeting, a request made by them, and a fulfillment that the applicant offered.
I would say if the projection is 0, 0, 0 and an annual amount, I would be satisfied. Or we could strike the quarterly language and just say revenue.
How about we strike the quarterly language and say projected revenues?
That's more valuable to me too, because I'm not just curious about taxes, I'm curious about all revenues, building fees, all of these kind of things, so that we can have a budget projection that makes sense.
We want to say annual revenues?
Do you, not to like wordsmith this here at a public hearing, but do you want to say projected revenues to the county? That's what we're talking about here.
Well, yes.
Yes.
So actually, we're looking at projected revenues to the county specific.
Yeah.
Yes.
And understood, we broadened it to there'll be permitting fees and other things beyond the taxes, but I think that captures what we're looking for.
You good?
Yep.
Good.
Mr. Chairman, if I may. Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, thank you. Andy Spielman with Wilmer Hale, my attorney registration is 29341. I represent Invenergy here today, and we would ask for that same language to be included in ours as well. Thank you.
Kyle, do you have any more spots that are requested?
Based on this, does anybody have any objections to the changes, or is it? So we're good, all right?
With that in mind, I'll make a motion that could easily be more discussion. I'm not trying to head that off, but I think it's time to.
I think we've had some discussion.
You think so? I move that we approve the application SU 160013 and 10-160017 Perim 1041 Rush Creek Wind Farm, with the provision that the applicant accept the conditions of approval as outlined.
I'll second.
Yes, sir, on behalf of Wind Farm, we accept. Thank you, sir.
Okay, based on the motion, second.
Yes.
Vote, all in favor?
Just one comment to Larry's comment there. I understand we're sacrificing some ridge lines, and I'm not quite sure what the solution to that might be, and sometimes we just have to analyze it the way it is. I'm ready to vote.
Yeah, I'd just say, this has been part of my exercise plan, loading back and forth for the last couple of weeks. And 2 days ago, I found a 1-inch binder from the application for the Cedar Point Wind Farm many years ago, and spent a little bit of time flipping through that. And I would just really do want to thank the applicant, the staff, all the public comment that was included in this, the amount of work and detail, listening back and forth that went into this application far outstrips where we were many years ago. And, I think this is a tremendous product. Obviously, you know, I don't think anybody in this room has seen a nearly $1 billion project walk into Elbert County in their lifetime, and it may be a long time before we see something like this again. So we're not going to walk away from this meeting and just leave things on autopilot. But with that, I'm ready to move.
With that, we have a motion on the table. We have a second. So then, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so we have a second application. I know we talked about them all together, but so with the conditions outlined and discussed in the staff report and agreed to, I move that we approve special use permit 16-0018 and 10-16-0028, the Rush Creek transmission lines, with the conditions outlined in the staff report and amendments discussed.
Motion? Second?
Second.
We've already said all there is to say.
Discussed everything, so. All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, with that, if you like, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, just like one final motion to move things forward. I move that the county manager coordinate the completion and execution of remaining agreements required by the conditions of approval for these two applications.
Do you need a motion for that?
You got a motion? Second.
I second it.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, at this point, we'll close the hearing, and thank you all for participating and all the efforts that have been.
Good job, Even understood. The chair said, I adjourned this meeting.